Now I think we are going into the rivalries of these three players. So first of all, we'll start with the Federal rivalry. Federer versus Nadal, the greatest rivalry of all time. It began at the beginning, I think in 2003, 4 it began at that time period. Federer was dominating, came in Nadal. They played almost 40 matches and Nadal leads this matchup. And of course, I think matchups which I want to discuss with you with of these guys. 2008 Wimbledon final, one of the greatest Wimbledon finals ever. Nadal, mind you, lost two back-to-back finals to Federer before this, 2006 and 2007. 7 was a bit closer. 2006 it was whitewashed by Federer, and again Nadal qualified for the final in 2008. Federer and Nadal coming in, a five-setter. The fifth set being played in the dark. It was almost sunset. Post sunset, it was getting darker and darker, and it was almost, I think, post sunset. The last point was played. All lights were blinking around. It was so dark out there, and in that tie break, both of them are throwing punches at each other. Nadal finding a winner, Federer finding a winner, again Nadal finding a winner, a running forehand, that banana forehand, the famous banana forehand of Rafa, and Federer playing those beautiful backhand and forehand winners again and again and again. And I think Roger missed a forehand, I think, if I'm not wrong, with a winning shot, which led Nadal to win that Wimbledon. 2017 Australian Open final, by the way. What a final. What a final that was. I think it was one of the best Australian Open finals in terms of emotions, not skill wise. Skill wise, both were at decline, both were coming back from injury, both are 30 plus. So, skill wise, it was not as good as it was in the younger days of both, but emotion wise. That fifth set, by the way, the fifth set was skill wise one of the best sets of tennis history. It was amazing to see those two guys going against each other, giving their all. And that one point, I think you all remember that point. It was a 20 plus rally, 20 plus short rally. Amazing rally that was. It was great to see those two guys fighting and giving their all to win that one game. And both were great friends, by the way, as well. So it was a great rivalry. And of course, that last Grand Slam match they played against each other. Wimbledon 2019 semi-final. Oh, what a game. Everyone expected Nadal to win. Federer was on his decline, but Federer just showed up on that day. He demolished a Nadal who was on a high, who was playing well. He demolished him. Four setter, I think, if I'm not wrong, a four setter. And again, the tie break resembled the 2008 final as well. Nadal throwing punches, Federer throwing punches. I mean, just imagine 2008 final, 2019 final. 11 years later, these two guys are still fighting in the Grand Slam semifinals and finals. Just imagine how the longevity these two have shown. And of course, Djokovic has shown the best longevity. We'll come to him as well. And of course, I think this rivalry was famous because I think Federer's finesse, the touch of grace and touch of what do you say, elegance, and Nadal's topspin and grit and never give up attitude. This made the rivalry very contrasting and very engaging as well. Now we come to the rivalry of an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Rafael Nadal versus Novak Djokovic. This rivalry has been unbelievable. This rivalry, I think, from starting, I think 2010, I've started watching this rivalry. The US Open final, I think the first match which I watched live of these two players. I think they played before as well because I was a youngster. I didn't used to follow tennis as much as I do now, and from 2010. So that US Open final I watched was so much force the ball was hit with by both Novak Djokovic and Nadal. The way they were hitting the ball again and again, throwing punches at each other with such force and such good court coverage. Wow. The 2010 was great. The 2010 final, US Open final was great. And of course, 2011 final. 2011 final was also, it was Novak Djokovic turning into beast in 2011. I think I said something wrong in the beginning. It was not 2011 Australian Open final. It was 2012 Australian Open final, by the way. That is the best Grand Slam final between Nadal and Djokovic and any tennis player. I think everyone will agree with that. I think that this was the best tennis final of history. Such skill. Nadal with those gritty forehands and backhands. And I think I'll just bring up the scorecard of this match. Just give me a moment. I'll just bring up the scorecard. It was one of the greatest matches of all time. The final scorecard, it was played at the famous Rod Laver Arena in the year 2012, January 29th, 2012. So, Novak Djokovic defeated Rafael Nadal 5-7, 6-4, 6-2, 6-7, 7-5. Wow. 5 hours and 53 minutes. And this still stands as the longest Grand Slam final ever. I mean, wow. What a game. And it was Djokovic's fifth Grand Slam title, the longest Grand Slam final in history. And he was the first man to win three consecutive Grand Slam titles: Wimbledon 2011, US Open 2011, and Australian Open 2012. I mean, it was amazing. It was a great final, and it was so tiring. I remember still, I watched this game live. Both players could not stand. If you see that famous photo, these two were, I think, holding their knees and standing there, and they had to be given a chair, both of them, to help them sit. And they were so tired that they couldn't even afford standing in that point. They were so exhausted. I think they gave their all. That's why. And they had some great matches in the future as well. I mean, some great finals. 2013 US Open final as well. What a great match that was. And I think these two were at that time at their peak. Both Nadal and Djokovic were at their peak. And those matches, if you watch when they were at their peak, it's unbelievable. You will not see a match with better quality of tennis if you watch these two play. No one gives up of them. I think just 1 point here and there, and someone dominates the other. It's been that kind of a rivalry. I think I will just bring up the head to head between Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. So, I have the stats of the rivalry which Nadal and Djokovic had over the years. So they have played a total of 59 matches, by the way. Djokovic leads this rivalry. Just imagine 59 matches between these two players. And Djokovic leads this rivalry by 30-29. Just one match. Just one match is difference between these two players. Just imagine. And by surfaces, by the way. Djokovic has won 20 matches. Nadal has won 7 matches. So total 27 matches they played on hard courts. And on clay court, the this data, this stat goes reverse. 8 matches won by Djokovic on clay and 20 matches by Nadal on clay. Total 28 matches. On grass courts, 2-2 is the stat. Grand Slam head to head. Australian Open, Novak has beaten Nadal all the 3 times they faced each other. French Open, I think Rafa has won 8 times and Djokovic has beaten him twice. 2021 once, and I think in 20, I think it was in early 2010s. I don't remember the exact year, but Djokovic, I have 2015. Yeah, 2015. I think Nadal was beaten by Djokovic in 2015, and 2021, that famous French Open semi-final. Yeah, and I think it was a final. I think final or semi-final. I'm not really. I don't clearly remember, but it was one of those matches. I think it was the semi-final. And Wimbledon, Nadal has beaten Djokovic only once, and Djokovic has beaten him thrice. And out of the 3 times, I think the best match I remember was the 2018, which was played over 2 days. 2018 semi-final, Nadal versus Djokovic. US Open, Nadal has beaten him twice in 2010 and 2013 finals, and Djokovic has beaten him thrice. So it's been a great rivalry between these two players over the years. And the most iconic matches between these two was 2012 Australian Open final. Of course, 2012, I just discussed this, and 2021 French Open semi-final. Djokovic ended Nadal's 35 match win streak at Roland Garros. Unbelievable, right? 2013 US Open final, Nadal defeated Djokovic in 4 sets. And of course, I think in the 2022 French Open quarterfinal, Nadal defeated Djokovic to reach to the French Open semi-final. It was a great match. It was another four-setter, by the way, another four-set game between Nadal and Djokovic in 2022. It was a great match again. Djokovic did show some fight back, but yeah, Nadal trumped him again. And in semi-final, of course, that match against Zverev, where he twisted his ankle. It was one of the best matches. which could have been a great match if they had continued. It could have been the longest match ever that continued that game. So yeah, this was the rivalry between Nadal and Djokovic.